Hey, welcome everyone to this Forest Friday. It's been a while and we're all very excited to be back, right? And talk to you in a more long form about ideas and giving us more time to dig into them. Let me introduce my fellow Force instructors here. We have Ratunjay to my left here. How you doing, Ratunjay?
Hey guys, it's been a while, right?
It has been a while. Yeah, a long time.
Friday
We've
is
been trying
back.
to Yeah, we've been trying to give you guys more short form content, but we have definitely heard the overwhelming interest in these Force Fridays. So here we are. How you
Yeah,
doing, Swinley?
Yeah, same. Excited to be back.
Yeah.
We all got a little bit older since the
That's
last time you saw us.
not me, man. I'm like Benjamin Button. I'm going backwards. Next time you see me, I should be like 10 years old or so.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I still the same.
That's right. You're just unchanging. That's right. Skin looks good. Yeah, looking good.
I got a little beard.
Yeah, that's true. You got a little beard. That's true. My hair's gotten longer. I'm going for a longer do. I'm gonna try it out for a little while. So today we're here to talk about a very important subject, something that I'm very strongly passionate about. And I know me, Swanley, and Ratunjay have all felt as we mentor, same with Julia and Dalric, like all the mentors feel this. And the mentors for the most part have been trained up through me, really. So they've all gone through this themselves, and I've gone through this myself. And that is, are you a carpenter artist, right? Are you a carpenter as an artist? Do you have a habit of measuring twice and cutting once, right? Measuring twice and cutting once is a rule of carpentry. Ironically, I have been a carpenter at a very young age, talking about from 16 to about maybe 21 or so while I was still in school. I've had my share of doing deconstruction and construction on houses and fences and installations of stoves and refrigerators and water lines and all that other fun stuff. For me, it was far more fun actually to destroy things. I really enjoyed ripping houses apart than actually the building and maybe the perfection of building. I'm trying to make things right. And I think there's some real focus to this and some real stress to the concept of just making sure everything fits right. And when you get into construction, this is going to sound insane, but this does happen. You almost have to know as a team that you're working with what it means when, for instance, you give somebody a measurement. You say, hey, this is 6 feet, 3 inches and 1/4, right? And when you take that measurement and you put it onto a piece of wood, it's on the piece of wood. Is the blade going on the outside of that line? So here's the measurement line. Is the blade going to go on the outside edge, or is it on the line, or is it on the inside edge? And that makes a difference, right? That makes a real difference because the blade itself has some thickness to it, right? So as a team, you have to know this is the language we work on this team. When I give you a measurement, the whole piece of wood has to be that length. You should be cutting on the outside edge of it, right? Because even a pencil line on a piece of wood has certain thickness to it, right? So you're trying to get things right as much as possible. And that kind of is my segue into today's conversation. It's like I've been here. I took architecture for 4 years. So fortunately, that really helped me when I went into construction because I knew the smaller measurements of an inch and how that breaks down into halves and quarters and eighths and sixteenths, right? And knowing how to read that, how to write it. So all those things tied into one another. But students come in thinking like this as well, right? And what we want to bring to your attention today is a beginner should not be a measure twice, cut once artist, right? That's today's conversation. And how do we get out of that? Right? That's going to be a huge part of today as well, right? Have either one of you guys done construction ever by any chance?
Do you like
No, I haven't
carpentry?
done.
The old trap. There we are again. Ratunji, have you ever done construction?
I haven't done it. I definitely have my hands on it because my uncle is a carpenter,
Carpenter.
and he does like he's a specialty in like couches and stuff. So
Oh, so he does like
he
furniture.
and he does furniture. There's like a lot of tools that he uses, and I'm never that kind of measured person. I'm very technical.
Yeah, super technical. When I used to do the architectural stuff, that was super technical, right? It's like you want to get down to the perfectionism of this, the specificity of it, right? Now, not to get too analytical here, I didn't notice this in this photograph until just now. I want you to notice this guy's fingernails. All right. Notice this guy's fingernails. You see how high up they are chewed, right? So this person is always like this, psychologically speaking. This is somebody who's always under the stress of perfectionism because person carries anxiety and nervousness too. He's always chewing his nails. That is somebody who chews a lot, believe me. For them to be that short, they are extremely short, right? And I didn't mean this on purpose, but honestly, that leads into drawing should not be a high anxiety sport. That's not the idea here. You should be having fun while drawing. You should be having fun while learning, not chewing your nails down to a stump. All right. So if you are, be aware there's something going on in your life that you're super stressed about. It might not be the drawing part. Hopefully not. Hopefully that's your release, actually. Right. But this guy is a package. Look at this tool. Right. So this is what we don't want. I don't want us to get here. I don't want us looking at our drawing like this, right? It's like the specific, this guy's literally, this is not how you hammer. I've hammered nails before, by the way. This isn't how it works, right? You don't do this, of course. In fact, it takes time to get really good. You want to get to the place where you're able to hit that nail in 1 or 2 shots and you get fast at it. But how do you get fast at it? Believe it or not, the way you get there is like this. This is what it looks like at the beginning. The beginning of nailing, the beginning of cutting it's not going to be perfect, right? It's just not going to be perfect, guys. You have to practice this stuff, right? You got to practice. You're going to get a lot of bent nails, especially like this, right? It's, oh God. And then you sit there with the back tongues of the hammer and you're like, try to straighten out the nail. And then you can't save the nail because that bend is in it. You've lost its integrity. So it's like game over. Just pull it out, put a darn new nail in there, right? So this is what we're talking about, is how important this is to art. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be here in your art, right? This is not about how to use a pressure cooker. You don't want to feel like you're stuck in the pressure cooker. Swanley, have you ever felt like this?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think one of the big epiphanies for me with force drawing was in one video where you mentioned that you can actually sculpt your drawings instead of, because coming from industrial design, I was more used to stacking forms on top of each other. And it was a relatively slow process. So learning to let go and approach it more like a sculptural mindset, that really helped me to get that pressure off indeed and draw much faster, ironically.
Yeah. How about you, Mritunjay?
I just want to say, did you ever hit your thumb, Mike? Doing
Oh, there, my thumb. Yes, most definitely. Yes. There was some pain with getting better. Yeah,
See, but the thing is, in drawing, we don't have that risk, right?
that's right.
So that's the thing we try to explain to our students is you're not doing anything risky. If you fail with the drawing, you can just throw the paper or something. You're just not losing anything. You're not hitting your thumb.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's an awesome point. You bring that to the drawing board. The drawing board does not have that, right? That's embedded in your psychology as an artist. And you need to remove it, right? You need to allow the monkey off your back, to literally allow that stress to feel it literally slide off your back and go, I have freedom here, freedom to create, freedom to learn, freedom to make all the mistakes that I want, to get to a stronger work ethic that is going to lead to better art, to better drawing. I've been in that perfectionist thing too. I remember even in coloring books, I was an amazing coloring book artist. I would color in the lines, I would put gradations, I would mix colors. I had coloring books that could sit on a shelf that you could flip through like a portfolio. I had beautiful coloring books. So I had that in me. I had that idea of the perfectionist side. Having taught now for 30 years, I can tell you when it comes to drawing, that's not the way it works, guys. It just doesn't. So at the front end of mentorships, again, all the mentors are aware of what we're talking about today. We're trying to get you to loosen up, to relax, to get the monkey off your back and find that power in you to be loose and sketch and be gestural as part of it, right? It's hard to be uptight as an artist and draw forcefully. Now, ironically, at the beginning of especially our newest version of the Force course, we do talk about a little bit of measuring. There's some analysis there with the gravity guide and understanding gravity. And that always concerns me. Believe me, I'm aware that's there. And I'm like, oh, I'm starting them off with trying to get this thing right. But it's only at the very beginning. And then we very quickly try to get you got to draw a gesture. You got to get stuff moving. That's just a scaffolding for you to just at least see some angles. And the only reason that's there is because we see, number one, we know how important angles are to gravity because gravity is a consistent vertical, right? But number two is we just saw that students, even with their forces, were just so all over the place that it wasn't drawing the figure functionally correct, right? There needs to be a little bit of a skeleton to work on. But we moved from that very quickly. So let me show you. I actually brought in a student's work. I happened to have one of my students this morning who came in and happened to have this video. And I was like, oh, son of a gun, this is perfect for what we're talking about today. All right. So let me get the timeline window open here and take a look at this. All right. So here it is. Let's zoom in on this guy a little bit. And I think it was more down here from what I remember. Yeah, it's here. This is a student of mine named Andy. And Andy, I was really blown away. He came in with a bunch of different drawings. He's learning how to push poses right now and push design and push depth. And he's been with me some time now. And I was kind of shocked, I think, as to how incredibly confidently he drew right here. This is awesome. And you might be looking at this going, what's so great about that? And my challenge to you is, oh yeah, if you think that's not a big deal, go do it. Go do it. This is what I would like to see. This is what we as a team at drawingforce.com can promise you is the way out of the pressure cooker, is to get here, is to have this gusto, this chutzpah, to draw this fluidly and have this much movement with this much confidence. Notice how many times Andy changed the pose, right? He's like the leg, where do I want to put it? Where do I want to put it? Drawing, trying to make this whole thing come together. He's pushing depth here with the size of the torso. He's getting some form in there. He's drawing the arms in there. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Man, if I can just get every student within the first couple of weeks of drawing with us to work like this in this mindset, we would have a powerhouse force army. It would be unstoppable to work like this. If you're out there and you're watching some pro and the pro doesn't work like this, and they may not, they may have already gone through this stage themselves, or maybe their work is clean and tight from the beginning, but it's also super stiff. It's very challenging. And this is coming from someone who's been doing it for 30 years. It's challenging to draw something very forcefully and very neatly with no plan at all at the same time. That is very high skill level, very high skill to be able to do that. Because what Andy is doing here is he's trying to figure out the big picture through this rough stage. So if you were to do it without the rough stage, you need to know in your head what the big picture is to be able to crawl your way through it. And I don't recommend that at the beginning. I think the whole joy of it, in fact, not only the learning, but the joy of it is to go big and draw big and try to understand the whole pose, right? And then you can tie down and tie down and tie down. So I wanted to share with you that this is a student doing this, right? And you can see just how much drama he's getting out of his work. So I hope this inspires you. I hope that today's goal with this video is for you to look at this and go, wow, okay, I didn't realize the reason my drawings are so dead is because I'm drawing from fear and perfection. And it's okay for me to sketch and be loose. Now, we teach sketching in a very specific way, and it's called force, right? So Andy is drawing with the understanding of energy and rhythm and fluidity in the body. And guess what? It's not just Andy either, guys, right? Some artists are not force artists per se, but they draw this way. I would say that Eric's kind of in the middle. I happen to love Eric Canete's work. He is very deservedly he's going to be featured in the Absolute Batman series, but I want you to see what he's doing. Look at this, guys. Look at all the sketches, the movement, the changes, right? He's sketching it out. Now he got to this one pretty fast, right? The sketch happened pretty quick, right? He starts tying it down after he figures it out, right? Seems like common sense, right? Look, he's tying, and then no, I don't know if I like it enough. He does a whole other comic book page, right? His whole other drawing. That's amazing, right? It's like another amazing drawing, right? And if you read his note here, he says, want to see me go through some indecision because it's the big absolute Batman reveal for my 2-issue fill-in, right? Because Dragato, I think is the name. Yeah, Dragato is the main artist. He's also amazing. And if you go to Dragato on YouTube, by the way, not that long ago, he shows himself struggling with a Batman page that he draws over, and he's on pencil, right? So he's sitting there erasing and drawing and erasing and drawing and erasing and drawing. So if you're watching pros that are doing something in one shot with a clean line and you're a beginner or even intermediate, you're looking at the wrong people, right? You want to find people that are doing this. This is what I want you to mimic, right? Here's another one. I want to show you this kid here. All right. So look at this. It's like pose 1, pose 2, pose 3, pose 4. He's moving his leg around. I'm not even going to count that. Puts a leg up. Let's say that's 5, right? So, okay, this one's moving. We're moving along. This is pose number 5, pose 6, 7. Now we're on 7, 8 with the leg up again, right? Pose 8, still on pose 8. He's still working. He changed the feet a little bit. He's still on pose 8, all right? He starts tying it down. So you go down the rabbit hole to find if you've got the right answer, right? And sometimes you have to work to go, is this the right 9? We just left 8. We're on to number 9. 10, right? This is a professional comic book artist, guys, right? Eric's a pro at what he does. It took him 9 poses, and in each one of those, some of them he did not go that deep, and some he did. All right. So let me bring you back to Photoshop because I want to share something with you that we teach our mentees, and this is super powerful. And Swanley Mertunje, of course, jump in here. I'm doing all the talking. Jump in anytime you want. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to get rid of this. I want to share with you guys something that we teach. And this goes along with everything we're talking about here today. The process looks something like this, guys. Let's say you have a reference or not, right? But you have this beginning, right? Is reference or not. And what it looks like is you do a drawing, right? This is usually, let's say 2 to 5 minutes. This is just your drawing, right? You do a drawing. It's like drawing 1, drawing 2, drawing 3. Oh, I like 3. I go down in time, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute. I get more info and I'm like, I don't like it. Back up. Number 4, no good. 5, no good. 6, no good. 7, 7's good. I go down in time. I'm 15 minutes in. I don't like it. I have a better idea. Number 8, number 9. Number 9's good. All the way down to the end. It's a 1-hour drawing, right? 1 hour. And then all of a sudden you add more time, you go to color and so on. This is the pro process. This is what a real pro does. Even those that draw with one-shot lines and everything, right? I'll tell you one thing, if you're a pro and you're doing that and you're doing this, you're still losing out. And the reason you're losing out is because you're not iterating. And you want to iterate to find the best answer, right? Sure, if you're sitting at the pier and you're doing caricatures, you got to do it in one shot, right? That's the way it goes. That's the nature of the job. But otherwise, you want to be working like this, right? And this is where force specifically is extremely powerful, right? The secret power of force is that you can sketch out a full figure using all the force concepts here. I'll just draw rhythms here and say, here's a pose. How long does it take me to do this, right? To say, I want a guy, he's holding a gun or whatever, and his arm here is relaxed. That took me less than 30 seconds to draw that. And yet it has a lot of information in it for me because I understand my language. And I go, I don't like that. I can change it. I have no emotional attachment to it. It didn't take me that long, right? So that leads you to doing all of this up here, right? 2 minutes to 5 minute max. You're going to cross all these iterations. Then you dig down, right? That is the way to do it because I'll give you the beginner, right? This is what a beginner does. A beginner does this. They have their reference or their idea. They do drawing number 1, right? And they're like, that's the drawing. They go all the way down. 2 hours in. I hate this drawing. Damn it. I got to start over again. Drawing 2. Let's go for it. Half an hour in, 30 minutes, right? I hate this one. That's what the beginner does. Think about the amount of time you waste doing that, right? That's what you don't want to do. Anything you guys want to add to that?
Only.
Swinley?
Especially if you want to work in production, like whether it's video game, illustration, comics, that's the process. You're getting paid to explore different ideas, to be creative. And indeed, you don't want to sit there and spend 10 hours on one drawing and discover it doesn't work because the deadline won't wait, the art director won't wait. So by necessity, it's a very practical process to work this way, actually.
The irony is, it feels like a pressure cooker, right? Because let's say I'm the art director and I go to Mattesi and I say, Mattesi, I need 3 character designs by tomorrow. And Mattesi is a perfectionist, right? So now he's going to sweat that out for the rest of today. And it's lunchtime, right? He's got 4 hours today to finish these 3 drawings. Now, what I did badly as an art director is I didn't say I want finishes or sketches or anything, right? I just said, I need these 3 character designs. If he's a perfectionist, he's going to, like you said, he's going to sweat it out, right? Because he's going to do 1 or 2 poses at the max for each of them, just try to come in with 3 beautifully rendered character designs tomorrow. And the irony is the way to even get to them is not to do 1 drawing like I showed you the beginner does, fall in that trap and try to perfect it and paint it, because chances are the work he's going to bring in tomorrow is not that great. So the irony here I'm getting at is you want to, let's say you had only 4 hours to do a project. You kind of know how long it takes you to clean up. Cleanup doesn't take that long. What takes long is figuring it out. So if you had 4 hours, you want to use probably over 2 hours of it to sketch. And that feels scary, right? Because you're eating up your time. You got 4 hours, half of it's gone. But I can promise you the effort is at the front end. Always the effort's at the front end. I did a painting for an open house at a college down in the Bay Area. And I always wanted to do a huge 8-foot by 4-foot painting. I basically went to Home Depot, bought a piece of plywood, and I wanted to do this painting. So we killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I knew the school had a huge stage that I can work on. They were like, why don't you do it at our open house? It'd be awesome if you were up there entertaining parents and kids coming through and showing, hey, this is a guy that teaches at the school. I was like, great, I'm fine with that. I had no problem with that. I had 4 hours to do it. I spent 3 hours drawing on newsprint what pose I wanted, to the point where I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I have 1 hour left to do an 8-foot painting. Now, I prepped the painting at home with the background. So I had like an amorphic background. But in 1 hour, I painted an 8-foot painting of the figure. Was it a masterpiece? No, by no means was it a masterpiece. But I painted it. I got a gesture drawing, so the drawing held up the painting. I blocked in all of the local color. I got some simple light and shadow in it, and that's about as far as I got. And in the end, it was like, wow, damn, look, that's an awesome piece because the drawing held it, right? And I held the render towards the end. But the most important part of it was the pose and the design and the composition of it on the board, right? So there's a hierarchy there that happens. So if you're a professional watching us today, or you're a beginner, you're an amateur, the most important time is the beginning. That's where all the big decisions are made, right? It's hierarchy. The big decisions are made at the front. So therefore, it makes sense to put more time into that space. And the irony is, because if you're working with us in Force, we have taught you a way that actually does move quickly. So you can get a lot of work done in a short amount of time even, right? And then that frees you up to maybe have more time later to do the rendering, because you really do get to a great answer early. So if Mattesi, going back to Mattesi and I, if I gave him 4 hours and that's it, he can go do a bunch of sketches, come back to me and go, here's the 3 characters. I did 15 sketches per character, 15 different poses and character designs. I can look at that and go, wow, I love number 7 for the first one, 15 for the second one, and 3 for the third. And then he can go with the confidence to go and render those and do so on, or clean them up, because he found iterations. He's given me choice. He's found better answers, right? And that's how a pro works. And that's how I recommend an amateur works, right? So if you're falling in that trap, like I said, be careful of what you're doing, right? So I brought in a photo. I think Mattesi, you have one as well, right?
Yeah.
So I thought I would just rough out something for you. I'm going to be super sloppy here. like incredibly sloppy, because I really want to make this point with you guys about not being a perfectionist, right? I'm just going to, I'm going to sketch this out. I'm going to sketch force it. Here, let's do this, and let's get rid of all this noise that I don't need here. There. So here's a model. This is from our new pack. If you're not aware of this, we partnered up with Graphite, who create all those amazing, beautiful photographs of models. We created a force model pack. So it's super high energy, right? High energy drawing. So if I were really, I'm going to be super sloppy here, just get my idea down. Man, I really want the model going like this and pushing into this shoulder and sweeping down over here to a rear end. And I like this curve in the back. And I'm doing this really fast, right? So I can go again and again and again and again. It's like, I just want this, right? Now I'm super scribbly here, but believe it or not, I'm drawing forcefully. This is still forceful. It's still in my lines, right? I'm not even being the most beauteous when it comes to the line itself, right? And you're going to see through Mattesi, he'll try to draw a better line than I am. But I want you to see that I can create all these flows in this gesture here quickly. Now I'm almost done, really. At this point, I could say, here's the foot. I could say, I want to do another one, right? I push that one. Maybe here I'm like, oh, I want to try to be a little more accurate. And I'm like, she's a little higher up like this. I can get these cuts in here, meaning the angle of her rear end. Here's her pelvis, right? And I can manage this in lots of different ways. I could draw it from force only. We could draw it from shape, make it a shape-driven drawing. And that's all fine. Any one of those processes within the force drawing approach is fine. What I want you to be aware of is how fast you can draw this and sketch this using the force drawing approach. And we give you process. Process is a big deal, guys, right? Process and systems are what let you draw faster because you know what you've got to do, right? That's the short of it. I'm hitting a technical blip here. There we go. That's the short of it, right? Know where to go, when to go there, and why is what matters. There's a system of force, there's a system of gravity, there's a system of anatomy and perspective, right? And understanding all those systems are what help you draw fast. So I'm not going to eat up much time here. I want Mattesi to have a chance. But here's just two drawings combined. Probably, if I just time the drawings, are probably under a minute. And they're just two sketches. And you can see how loose one is, right? And this one gets a little tighter and a little more specific. But this is the secret sauce. Now, I could have put form in here. I could have said just very sloppily, I'm going to put some ellipses. I want this leg. Maybe I change it. I'm like, oh, I want that leg to go really far away. So I can work on that. I can shorten the distance of the leg because the foreshortening is greater. Maybe I want to tuck her rear end underneath her more and I make her do this and then have her straighten out and then go back away from me, right? And then I go draw it again with this new information, right? And I just keep working and working. It's exactly what Andy did. It's exactly what Eric Canete did, right?
I think one of the
yeah, go ahead, Swinley.
I think one of the fears here I can see students coming across is what if the drawing isn't right? And what I've learned is to just make the mistakes as fast as possible so you can fix them because you're human. You're not a drawing machine. You're going to make mistakes. Even when you think, oh, I'm getting to get the angle of the arm exactly right, it's going to be off. So just make those mistakes very quickly and then fix them. No pressure, Mike said earlier.
Yeah, and analyze. So I could look at this. Now I purposely pushed her further. So I did that on purpose. But let's say I didn't. I could say, oh, like I need to straighten up her torso. So I would write a note about that. And we have our students do this. Straighten up. All right. This arm is pretty correct. But let's say it wasn't. I would have a note here and say I would lower or raise the arm. Right. And then you go, and this is drawing 1, and I did it in 30 seconds to a minute, and you go to drawing 2, and you've got your notes there, and you go, boom, let me now fix this, right? You do it through that process instead of this, guys, right? Which is, oh man, that's her far shoulder, and that angle is like that, and it's like that. Her neck is here, and I see her hair's coming down. And let me get that right. And then this goes up her deltoid and that comes down like that, right? And like this, right? And then I see this bump in her back. You might even know that it's her trap, right? And go, I see her spine is like that. And I'm taking like little measurements, right? Think about how long this is going to take, right? That's a long time under your stress and pressure. of every little minutia idea having to be right because they're all relating to one another in very little steps versus big picture. I'm trying to get the whole thing down. Let me just rough it out, right? I'm just going to rough it out. And then I'll write notes and I'll do it again and do it again. So you're working from big to small. Before I jump over to Swanley, to Mertenji, just because I'm here, a great metaphor for this is this, right? So here's a sculpture, right? And that's the finish. But it's like, how do we get to that finish? We go here. So this is from this YouTube channel, Albert Sculpture Studio. So check him out, right? It's like you can see here how he builds it up. And this is how sculptors work, right? You don't want to fill the whole thing with clay, otherwise you're wasting clay. So usually they'll put like aluminum foil in the center, right? And this is the rough build. He doesn't go in there and sculpt the eyeball here. Now, this is an additive process, meaning he's adding clay, he's adding clay, he's adding clay. If you take a look at Michelangelo where you have marble, you're removing. It's like deconstructive sculpting, right? So there, it still gets roughed out. You slowly rough out because you can't go back, right? Once you remove a chunk of marble, it's gone forever, right? So, but either one, my point is either one is still big to medium to small. It's, oh, look at the features here. Again, Albert's not focusing on details. He's roughing stuff in, right? Look at what he does here. He's blocking in and blocking in. Over time, this gets more nuanced. Look where we're getting. This is still rough, right? This is still rough. He's starting to really clean up those plane changes until he finally gets to here, all right? And still not even super tight, all right? But pretty close. You can see what the features of the face are. This is what I want you to stick in your head when it comes to drawing. It's like drawing like a sculptor. Big ideas to medium to small. Those are the details, right? All right, I'm going to hand it off to you, Mertenji, and then we'll probably close up. Let's give you a shot at rough it out.
Yeah. I need power.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Hand over the power.
Yeah.
Manpower.
All right. So we'll bring everything together now. Again, so here's my reference, right? And just know that everyone needs options, okay? We all work with hundreds and hundreds of people within a team, and then everyone needs options, man. It's if you're going to a store and if you see like a shirt maybe that you like, you're still gonna roam around the store, right? So if you're putting money as any other client, you definitely want options. You definitely want iterations, right? So that's what this is all about, right? And then one of the things I like to do is draw small, think big. That's one of the ideas that I always follow, which is like you're drawing super small, right? And this actually doesn't allow you to do any details, right? So you see the idea is basically this, okay? She's bent over here and her leg is going like this and she's grabbing the pole. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So she's grabbing the pole and there's a head, something like this. And there we go, right? So it's like a little bit of this squash over there. Took like a 30-second, right? So once you're clear about this idea, then you can go for bigger and bigger ideas. Now you can start to draw even bigger. Put your time, just like Mike said, it's put your time over here more. Invest your time in the beginning, clearing out your ideas, and then actually just making it cleaner would be much more less time consuming. Okay.
I want to add to this too, that the fact that you learn at the front end to do this, guys, we teach students how to draw from reference and then into imagination. So the more you do this, where you iterate at the front end, you start taking on different opportunities within the drawing as to manipulating it, changing it, improving it, adjusting it, right? How you see fit. And that's how you start to learn how to draw to your head, right?
Yeah, correct. Again, I can do a little test here. Now, say, for example, let's say you want to change the angle of the pose, right? Again, it's drawing from imagination, like the bridge in the middle. You have a reference, but you're still drawing from imagination. You want to change the angle, right? So I can draw small. I can clear my ideas over here. Okay, that's the leg coming out, right? Something like this. I'm really not worried about, oh, did I get the 100% correct proportions? Did I get the line even, right? I'm not even worried about my line, what kind of quality it is. I'm just trying to bring that angle. Now change the angle and rotate her. She was on a disc, so that makes sense. And then the arms coming out towards the pole, right? And the head would be something like this. Okay. So see, just like a quick small gesture and maybe like a minute or so. it just clears our ideas. I'm putting more time into clarifying my ideas over there. Yeah. And then you see the head is over there. And then a lot of people ask is, oh, in Force, you guys don't really go to the final stage. We go, right? You can see proof behind Swendley's background here. So he does a lot of these characters and stuff. Yeah, there we go. He's going through this process. You can just check out his Instagram. That's awesome. And then even on my Instagram, you'll find these references where, sorry, a lot of posts where you can just see like how I'm cleaning up stuff after getting to this rough stage. Once this is done, you can just go with more passes, right? And I can be a little bit more clear. But you can go 2, 3, 4, 5 unless you're satisfied with it. Here, I'm just going to go a quick cleanup, just a quick one, just to show you that this much of information is a really good base to start working out of. Okay. This is not a full cleanup, I would say. Let's say if you want to color it or something like that, you want to turn this into a character. But this is not the cleanup you want to go for. But it's a good base. It's a really good base to start working off of. Okay. Now see, I'm just making it more accurate, the shapes. I'm even following the proportions. And just so if you're thinking like, oh, that is actually a bit too accurate for the first sketch, remember that it's been a while since I've been doing this. So don't worry about that, right? My Instagram, if you check my Instagram, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 years ago, or even more, you can just go back and back. My sketches were like really distorted. There's no proportions and stuff. But one thing that I didn't have is the fear. I have to say I've been really fortunate to not have that fear. Yeah. So if you're getting through this, I'll just say, so you can build like passes on top of this. You can clean it up. I would do even more stuff on top of that, put more information, put more details and clothing and stuff, right? Go for it, okay? And you're drawing digitally nowadays, so you're not wasting anything, okay? Not even on paper. So just go for it, okay? That's what I want to say. Okay.
And if you think about it, it's a very natural way for us to learn as humans. I mean, how did we learn how to walk? We had to fall on our faces a couple of times. How did we learn how to handle a spoon? We had to make a mess as a kid. We didn't start off eating with perfect, how is that called? Like restaurant manners, is etiquette or something? Etiquette?
Etiquette.
What is it called? What is it called in like restaurants manners? Like how you eat at a table, all this.
Etiquette. Etiquette.
Oh, it is etiquette. Okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't start like that. We didn't come out of the womb with that. We had to make a mess. And with practice and time, we learn. It's the same with drawing. There is this hyper obsession sometimes about accuracy, but it's a process. It's not an event. That's what I always says. It happens over time.
I think the thing is we learn fear. It's like fear's
Yeah.
hot. We learn it, right? As a kid, you learn if you put your hand near fire, it's hot and you don't want that because your body tells you that's probably going to be painful. But we learn all this psychological fear also. Kids innately are not scared. So some might, I'm not saying all kids are not scared. Some kids might genetically have that in them for whatever reason. But in general, we don't grow up with that. And we're complicated as human beings. And we end up learning fear. We learn embarrassment, right? Embarrassment causes fear. We learn how to judge ourselves very harshly. Maybe you were judged as a kid very harshly by your parents or teachers, what have you. So if you know you have that, we're here to hopefully inspire you to know, don't hurt yourself like that, because that's all it's doing. You got to get around that, over it, past it, under it, whatever you got to do. It's just a drawing. That's just a drawing, guys, right? It's not going to make or break you. The way to learn is by drawing and failing and enjoying the failure and learning from failure and loving that whole process. So you got to get past yourself. You got to get past yourself to allow yourself to get around that wall and be able to draw from excitement, curiosity, and joy. It's fine to even get angry. I've been angry when I'm drawing. I'm like, I can't make this thing work. I've done that publicly. I remember I was at one of the colleges again in the South Bay, San Jose State, actually. And I was really angry. I had 50 people watching me. And I was like, oh, this is just not. And they all were like, I looked around and they were all looking at me shocked. And I'm like, what? It's okay. It's just between me and the drawing. It's fine. I'm not hurting anybody, right? I was frustrated at the way I was performing. It wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to come out. So I had to deal with my own frustration there. So let it out. It's all good. It's a good escape. Anyway, I think I'm going to close with that. If you don't mind stopping
Yes.
Mattesi. I can just do it here.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for
There we
hanging
go.
out with us today. And thank you, Swanley Mattesi, for all of your insight and work. And we look forward to more Forest Fridays. All right. So go in there, go draw after today's recording fearlessly, confidently, with some joy and pleasure, and sketch, right? Sketch it out. Don't sit there and measure every little thing and try to shoot for perfectionism. Get to great art through work, right? Great art through work. Okay, guys? All right, take care. Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.